folks. Welcome to a new episode of Soul Talk. And I have with me today Lloyd Thompson with Tranquil Productions and Tranquil TV in Bradford, England, all the way from the UK. We got Lloyd here. Hey, Lloyd.
How are you doing? You okay?
All right. Yes. Thank you for joining us. So you guys, there's like a 6 or 7 hour time difference, and we've been playing email tag for like months trying to get this set up. So I'm so excited that he was able to join us right before he goes on holiday. Is that how you guys say it?
Yeah, holiday, yeah.
How you doing?
Good, feeling good, definitely. It's late over here, as you said, but I'm feeling excited to do this, so that's great.
Nice. All right, so let's just get started. Tell us how you got started with dance.
Well, basically when I was younger, I saw this amazing performance, which was I was doing a football camp, and I was terrible at football in a sense, but I just enjoyed it as a kid, doing a bit of it was like a youth club thing, and it was an award ceremony. Right at the end, they had some sort of dancers brought in to do a special performance, and I'd never even seen breakdancing before, so it really, I thought it was crazy the way they were moving and all that, and just the music as well was different. The whole way they were doing their dance, it was really exciting. So once I'd seen that dance there, I went to the actual church where they ran classes. They ran the classes there every Sunday. And my mum had actually tried to get me to go for maybe a good year, but I was so shy as a kid. I was not really I wouldn't do anything like that in front of dancing.
Right.
Once I'd seen that the way they were and the confidence and everything, it just I thought, I've got to do this. Even though I went from shy to just I've got to do that straight away. So it was that's what really got me into it, and I just started those classes, which were just every Sunday. I think about an hour and a half, just learning from the guy who taught there. So that's how I was introduced to it. Really.
So that was breakdancing.
Yeah, breakdancing. Yeah. That was like the in Bradford there wasn't a lot of dance going on. That was the, they were actually, the only kind of dancing really that I got to see, in the sense of there was it wasn't as big as it is now. Now you can go to different classes, all sorts of salsa or contemporary. There's all sorts in Bradford now, but in them days, there wasn't much dancing going on, in a sense. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then, about how old were you, would you say?
13. I think it was just around 13 when I was there. So yeah,
okay.
I was 13 years old.
And did you feel like, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? This is what I'm going to do for a living? Or how did that kind of come about?
Well, when I was before that, Bradford's it was like there was not much going on culturally in the city. It was kind of like you starved for things to do. So I mean, I used to play a lot of basketball, and I dreamt about being a basketball player. And I see the guys in America play NBA and stuff like that. And I used to just play on my own, and I was a big age gap, so I was quite younger than a lot of the older guys. But I seen their struggles, and I just saw that it was so difficult, even for the American guys to play professional basketball. And we're over in England, and we didn't have any money, so I was like, I knew it wasn't really going to go anywhere, and I could kind of feel that from seeing my peer older people, how they were doing, and so it was kind of a bit sad really, because I'm doing something I love, but at the same time I knew it couldn't really go anywhere. And with the breakdance, when I seen that, it was something I had no idea about in any way. So I just thought this is something I can do, which I can take further. And obviously I just had that feeling in me that I can take this a lot further. I can do that to its fullest. And it wasn't the idea of being a job as such. I wanted to be the best I could possibly be. So that was my focus. It was always to try and train and be the best I could be, and just work as hard as I could to get to the top of that class. And every time I came across another dancer, I was just trying to up my game against them, always trying to become better and better and better. I never really thought about work at first, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that takes a lot of pressure off. I don't know if it takes pressure off, but I guess if your focus is not only on the work, it's a different type of stress, I guess, with you just trying to focus on training and being better. But at least you didn't have that stress of, oh, I got to be working. Oh, this isn't paying any bills yet. You know what I mean? Because then that's like a whole other you know, drama in and of
Yeah.
itself.
I mean, when I was, I actually was really good at art, you know, and it was a really true passion of what I was going to do as a job. So I actually was really blessed. I got to go down to London and I saw how they lived, you know, and it really put me off being an actor, you know, because I was going to work for like an advertising company, and I did this competition and won. And I got to go Saatchi, which is a major advertising company in London. And basically, a lot of the the role in that job that I wanted to do, you know, I could see was overworked and all this, and you know, it kind of, once I'd done that, you know, it just took the passion out of it, because I thought, that's not the future I want for myself, getting home and you know, so late, and you know, being undervalued. So I was kind of lost a little bit until I found the dance. And then obviously I've been working hard at the dance, and when it turned into work, it wasn't my pursuit looking for work. What happened was that we were getting ourselves out there. We had a little crew together, and we were dancing. Any place we could dance, we'd go and dance. And we sort of built up. You know, people knew us as we're the dancers. You know what I mean? We weren't really getting paid, and we're called Clean North. But you know, people knew that, you know, that's the breakers there. And it happened that, you know, I got called for a job. And this was you know, they wanted to pay me to do some lessons, and obviously I was really quite poor when I was younger. And the guy rings me up, and you know, he's like on the phone, and he's like, "We want to pay you, you know, quite a lot of money to do this." And I was just like, I thought, did I hear you right there? I didn't know, you know. I was like, I just said, can I ring you back? And I just, you know, I was like, what? You know, so that's how I got my first job. And you know, it was just amazing, because after that it rolled on, and I got connections to more people, you know, through that job. More people wanted performances or teaching or things like that, and it kind of just rolled from there. But you know, the thing, I guess, is, you know, I was ready. You know, I was ready for it, because I trained so hard to be, you know, and I cared about it, and I cared about passing it on to others. So I was already teaching in a way, even from a young age, just showing my friends how to do certain moves, or you know, helping them to learn and develop and stuff like that. So, you know, I had that kind of that want to make my city better for dancing. You know, that's what I really wanted to do.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. So if I'm hearing this correctly, you basically were following your passion. You wanted to train and become the best that you could, and then you were already sharing what you were doing with others. So then the work just kind of found you, because you were in that space of just doing what you love to do, right?
Yeah, it was that's right. You know, and you know, obviously, you know, that's, you know, I kind of needed that work as well at that time. So I felt like God was looking out for me as well, because you know, I needed to decide what I was going to do, and I wasn't sure where I was going, but I knew I loved the dance, and I had amazing support in my mum's so supportive, you know, in a sense that she gave me room to breathe, because obviously if she would have been wanting money straight away, I wouldn't have been able to follow that passion, you know. I wouldn't have been able to give, and because she appreciated the dance too, and she could see the passion was there, she allowed me time to train and develop, and you know, so she didn't pressure me for a job. I think I remember when I worked with my grandma a bit at the market when I was a little younger, and then I ended up doing, I think, one of my first jobs was like KFC or something. I did that for 3 months. You know, that's a really good thing to do, because I knew I didn't want to do that, you know, after I'd done that, and I knew I wanted, you know, to do something, you know, more than that, obviously. But I just did that for a little while. But then obviously with the dance, I'm always pushing that, and you know, I was only about, I think, 16 around then. But I was still at school when I got that job, and it just made me know that I didn't want to go to university. So I actually didn't go to university. I just that just rolled on from the work, and I was just always pushing to be the best as I could be, and looking for every opportunity. I didn't waste any opportunities. So that's how it kind of.
That's smart. You didn't waste any opportunities. I like that. I like that saying. So how old were you when they called you for that job?
I think I would have been about, 16, 17, around that age. Yeah.
So that's not bad. If you just started, you just picked it up at like 13, and then by 16 you were being offered work. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. No, I felt that was pretty good. Yeah, definitely.
So after they started calling you, I know you said that you just made connections and one thing led to another, but was there any type of way that you were kind of pursuing it? Did you start pursuing it at some point? Do you know what I mean? So instead of people just reaching out to you, did you start putting it out there like, hey, I'm available for this?
Well, what happened was that, when I was younger and I did the church work at St. John's, the leader there was Dylan, and he'd sort of taught us to how to do a bit of the teaching as well and pass that knowledge on. And then obviously, like, later on, I got that job there, and when I started to pursue it a little bit more, is I met another Christian woman, which was through she saw us and really appreciated what we were doing, and she had a kind of the other style of dance she was really bothered about, but she gave me a lot of knowledge, and also she actually paid for me to do a dance because I hadn't been to uni to do dance, and break dance wasn't even something you can qualify in. So she saw the nearest thing, which was exercise to music, and she put me on that course, paid for it, and I felt like she was like she didn't even ask much from us, like she wasn't asking us to work for us. So she said you can work for yourself as well, but she just really looked out for me. She was called Victoria Hills, and she just said, what you need to get insured, you need insurance, in case this happens to you. She just kind of protected me, showed me what I needed to get, and put me on this course, and was like, I really hope you pass it, because it cost her some money, but I wanted to, and I wanted to push myself. And once I'd done that exercise to music, it was kind of I think it was like they taught it through doing that kind of an aerobic style class.
Mm-hmm.
I did that, and I got myself, ever since I was that was something that took me to a more professional stage, then at another level.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, before that, I was kind of running around doing the jobs, and she didn't even know, and I didn't know what was going on. I just had faith that I'd get this next job or here or there, and I was just doing more than thinking. And
Nice.
it was kind of like I'd always dreamed of having, it was like living a dream in the sense of I didn't have any money, and now I'm getting paid for dancing. I couldn't afford clothes and things like that, and now I'm dancing and doing stuff like that. So I made business cards, I printed them out on paper.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was, just a kid doing these things, and I made the Tranquil Productions name up, I think around maybe around 16, 15, 16. So I had that mind that I just wanted something for myself, So it was kind of like that, and then I had these people who came and helped me, and that's kind of when it took it to another level. So from me just going around, once I'd done that course, I felt more confident, like I could approach a school, and say, they didn't even ask me for insurance and things, but it felt like I had that extra confidence to go and approach and say, look, I've got this public liability insurance, I've done the exercise to music course, I've done my first aid, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So she really took my dancing to another level in that kind of mindset then. So it was great.
Right. That's awesome. So she basically, you have the artistry taken care of, and she kind of just helped you level up kind of on a business sense, almost like help you take care of all of those things, which is really a blessing. They say that when you make up in your mind to do something, then the whole universe kind of just conspires and helps you along to you start doing that. So it sounds like people are just coming along your path and helping you to get to that next place, which is really a blessing. That's really great.
Yeah, definitely.
So how old would you say, I have two questions actually. First, how old or how long did it take you to maybe just start completely supporting yourself on your dance work alone, like nothing else?
Well, I think what happened was, from getting the odd workshops and things like that, I moved on to starting some of my own classes, which was through the council. The council approached me, and I think that was a big change. It changed a lot of things, because then they put me on their payroll and started searching for me to do classes in different places. That meant that I didn't even have to look then. I was connected to the council in some senses, and they would hunt work down for me. They wanted to fulfill, dance in their structures, their business. But in their format, they needed to get more classes to obviously be doing their jobs. So they were hunting for work for me. Plus, I'm looking for my own work. So it's like two things together. And they were doing it for other dancers as well on their payroll, you know. But with me being the only kind of break dancer available at that time, it was really specialist, you know. And I also met someone from Leeds as well when I was younger. His name was Shane, and he also was searching for me for work sometimes as well. So I had like myself, you know, the council, the person I first met. There was a lot of these kind of art-based companies, you know, and charities that were all trying to get things going for young people. All of a sudden, it was like an explosion of things, you know, and they're wanting to fulfill that for young people. So it wasn't too hard for me to do that. Once all that was going, I had more classes than I could, you know. Sometimes there were too many at certain points, and I had to realize that, you know, I wanted to be competitive as well. And I was struggling to find the balance because I wasn't training as much then because I was teaching so much. There's only so many hours in the day the body can take that, you know. So when people are saying to you, you know, as a dancer, oh, you don't do that many hours as, you know, 9 till 5, but how's your body going to let you? Just want to do 9 every day. So I was like figuring that balance out of how to train and be the best as a b-boy and competitor, but also keep the classes and stuff like that. So I found a good balance, and that's kind of when I went where I could support myself then. But I stayed at home. Me and my brother, my mum, we lived together, and you know, he worked. He was studying. My mum, she was working. I was working. So we just kind of working together to live, you know, together, and it was just nice setup. You know, it was nice.
That's great. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
You also said that you had this name Tranquil Productions since you were younger. Where did you get the name from? Like, where did that idea come from?
It's anything with the name Productions was a big deal, you know. And when I was young, so, you know, and then I was like, my name was bboy Tranquil, which was given to me.
Okay.
You know, my dance style was, you know, I was quite, you know, I was a lot more smoother and
chill,
you know,
yeah.
My time, like other dancers, break dancers, they're quite, you know, it can be quite hardcore, you know, and really like bam, you know, tons of energy. But my style was a bit more smooth and, you know, just grooving with the music and things like that.
Nice.
So, you know, I got the name Tranquil, and from there, you know, I just put the productions to it because I also liked the idea of film and you know, videos.
Yeah.
So I was thinking productions, you know, I can maybe do this later on in the future, which is what I'm doing now. But, you know, it was the intention of just dance at first. But I just thought if I put that name to it, it just sounds bigger. It just sounds good.
Right.
So it could go with anything as well. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't really mean you don't even have to relate to dance. You know, just somebody sees that, they're gonna remember it. You know, so that's what I thought when I was younger.
Oh, nice. Very wise at a young age. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, so we know how you got started. We know what your first project was, or what your first work was. So you feel like that job when the person called you to teach, that was like your very first kind of foot in the door project, you feel like?
Yeah, I would have said that was definitely, it was a shock and a surprise, and I think that was just, you know, that showed me that I could make a living off of it, you know, definitely. So that definitely was a big deal at that time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we hear how all of these people have rallied around you to kind of help propel you forward, as well as all of the hard work that you've done on your own, which is great. So what has been maybe one of your biggest challenges though on this journey as well?
I think, you know, with being from Bradford, I don't know, the city that it's kind of got a bit of a bad reputation in you know, it has from its history and just you know, the last maybe, I don't know, couple 20 years, you know, it's got a bad reputation for certain things, and you know, I think when that kind of, it feels like that you know, it was my job as well to get rid of that in a sense as well, because I love my city, I love where I'm from, and but when I used to go around different places, it felt like I was not, you know, dealing with people being quite negative towards you. That could be a big challenge, and you know, I got a lot of that, a lot of, you know, as you could say, I don't know, hate or, you know, whatever you want to call it. It just, I definitely didn't feel accepted at certain points. You know, I had to, and it wasn't just me. The whole group from where we were from just felt like we were a bit at war all the time. You know, and you know, it's quite hard to keep that positive mindset when things can be quite negative around you. And also, I'd never done. You know, I was doing something that no one else had done. You know, even Dylan, who was teaching me, he wasn't doing it as he was doing that for our benefit as kids. He wasn't making his living off of that. It was something he's done on Sunday. So it's really, you know, people say to you, you know, it's kind of that because it hasn't been done. You know, people don't think it's possible. You know, so people can look down on you a little bit sometimes. I had lots of support, which was great because that's what also gave me the encouragement to go on. But equally, some people are like, yeah, but what are you going to do later on? What are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? I'm here like 20 years, you know, almost a long time, you know, and you know, I'm still dancing. It's been 16 years actually since I started dancing, and you know, I'm still dancing, and I still continue, you know, to aim to continue to dance. I'm getting fair, you know, looking after myself, and you know, all that. So, but it's just, I think, just try and carry on when people are being negative. That's one of the biggest challenges, and also just have faith, because sometimes I didn't know what I was doing with work. You know, I wasn't. I would put out a lot of stuff. You know, I was proactive, but sometimes I would send out 100 emails with no replies.
Yeah.
You know, make flyers, no replies. You know, I do all these effort things, no replies. But I felt like, you know, I felt like God appreciated that effort, but sometimes that wasn't the thing the job came from. It just came out of, you know, I just got a call then all of a sudden, or it's a word of mouth, or I didn't really have control, you know, to boost work sometimes. So that you know, it's just having faith that things are gonna work out, and working hard, even though you might not know where it's gonna come.
Right. That's a hard thing to do, to just kind of have faith. You know, when most of people in the world, they need stability for whatever reason. Maybe they have families or whatever, but they need that stability. And then to have this passion and know that it's what you want to do and what you're meant to do, but it's not always bringing in the income that you know, that warrants your work. That's a very difficult thing to endure. And then especially when you go through seasons, like you said, where you're putting out work, you're soliciting, you know, different projects, and then nothing comes from it. That's like a really hard pill to swallow. But I think it's important to just know from a spiritual lens is that when you're doing that, you're basically just, you're planting seeds. You know what I mean? Even though something might not come directly from that flyer or that specific email, you're planting those seeds, and that knowing that the work will come from somewhere, right? As long as you do your part. And that's really all we can do, is do our part, and then God has to do the rest, really.
Yeah, you can't just, you know, you have to, I think that active time shows what you want to do. You know, if you're just sitting around, you know, complaining about it, you know, you've got to try it. And when the flyer don't work, you know, then you try something else, and you just keep trying something else. And, you know, and if none of that's working and you love to dance, then practice, you know. That's why I was like, if I'm not doing the work, I'm training, you know. So it's like a balance. Like if the work's here, you know, then the training, you know, if the work's high, then the training I have to dip. But if the work's down, I can train as hard as I need to, you know, and just maintain the level, make sure I'm the best I can be. You know, that's kind of my mindset.
That's a great attitude to have. That's really, really great. You sound like a very wise person over there, Lloyd.
I just felt like it was something that the dance, you know, everything else needed a bit of money to do, you know, and dancing, I think you can just put the music on and you can just dance, you know. And what's better than that, you know?
Amen to that. So, yes.
You don't need to pay. You could do that anyway. You just close your eyes, dance. You know, you're dancing, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? So it's good like that. You know, that's
absolutely, absolutely. I love that. Okay, so then tell everybody what Tranquil Productions is. What do you do out there in Bradford?
Well, Tranquil Productions started off as, you know, like I said, I did the teaching, the classes, and I do that in schools. So I'll teach in different schools around Bradford. I'll do, you know, from primary, even reception. So they're like, can be 3 or 4 years old, all the way up to like night classes, which can be for adults. And I'd run those at different venues, from gyms to community centres. You know, some schools I'd be in on a rolling basis. Others I might be in for 10 weeks, and I might never be there again. So I just made sure that, with that, I'm just trying to make it the thing to do. When I was young, the thing to do was to play football.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to, for the kids, the thing they did would be breakdancing.
Yeah.
So they're all like, oh yeah, I used to break. Yeah, we all did. It's I wanted it to be like the normal thing. To just change how people view things. And because I was quite shy. I wasn't good at to be good at basketball in England. It means nothing. Obviously in the US it's amazing. If you're good at basketball, it means a lot. It's football here, so if it's like alternative, that dance was bringing out myself from inside me. So I felt like it was bringing out my character, who I was, and I wanted to be able to show people, who are not so good at the traditional sports, to bring out themselves. How can you bring out what's inside of you, and also the fact that not having a judgment on what that looks like, because I think if you show somebody how to dance, you might find something amazing that no one else has seen. Everyone can have a different style, so that's what Tranquil Productions is about. It's kind of not just teaching traditional dance, it's trying to use dance to help people be confident and show them what they're capable of.
Absolutely.
And then after that, it became about shows. So agents, other people would bring me and book us for a show here or there. We would do different performances and book, but usually it's within the city. Most of those work, but I have another agent that I'm part of, another group, which is Fire Force. And with that group, which was Leeds based, I've travelled the world with that group as well, doing amazing shows with them. So, Tranquil Productions is more just city scale performances, and, we've had the odd thing around the UK, but not international yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love what you're saying about helping your students find, I guess, more about what's inside of them, more than just the dance. I've had to learn that myself, teaching in college campuses. And even though I'm teaching at college, I'm teaching when it comes to hip hop and urban dance, I'm teaching dancers, people who are taking this as an elective, right? So they're not necessarily trying to become a professional dancer. So I've had to find ways to give them something more than dance out of the course, right? So make sure that they leave the class with more confidence, or knowing how to find their own style, or just kind of figuring out who they are and knowing that even if they make a mistake, they can move forward afterwards. You know what I mean? So it's become about life skills that you can infuse through dance than just teaching people how to dance. So I think that's very admirable.
Yeah, I think you're right. That that's like you said, life skills. It can all be applied. From the dance, the struggles you have there. If you can be smart enough to apply that to your life, you're gonna have an easier life, are you? So it isn't more than just dance. If that's how you see it, you can get a lot out of it. That's how I see it. Although I love to dance and want to be good, but I can still apply those lessons in my life. So.
Right. So then what about Tranquil TV? Can you share anything about that right now, or is that still under wraps?
No, it's good at the minute. That's happening, and I'm about 15 videos now, which is good. It's gone really well. It got received well. But basically, I felt in the need. I've been dancing for a long time competitively, and I care about that. But also, I'm 29 now, and I just wanted to do something that was fresh. I've been teaching a lot, and I wanted to reach more people, because I felt like I'm, restricted a little bit to a small base. And I feel like, because I've traveled the world, I've been to Boston, and then all the way over in the east and west and different areas. I feel like I've got a lot of knowledge, and sometimes I'm doing a class, and I feel like it could be a bit under, not as many people in the class, or it's a bit quiet. So sometimes I feel like I need to be spreading this knowledge further and wider to more people who can sometimes appreciate it. And not that there's anything wrong with the smaller classes or anything like that, but I just think when you've got all these things you want to say to people, and you can't get that out there, that's what made me want to start the channel. So I can talk about my experiences and also teach more people, and hopefully that will become another thing that can be another way of income as well. Obviously, if it doesn't, I'm not abandoning Tranquil Productions. I'm still doing all that work as well, and that's even funded everything that Tranquil TV is, you know, from all the filming equipment to everything. So it's basically, you know, that's led to this. So I'm not letting go of that. It's just well, it's like an extension, you know, of what I'm doing already. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
So is the channel televised like through a TV network, or is it like an online network? Or
it's actually online. It's on YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, cool.
And what I do is I post that regularly, you know, every week, and it's like, you know, scheduled time where I just post up the video content, and you know, it's there's been the inspiration series, which is about, you know, different things that have inspired me, which goes on that one, and there's also been the dynamic movement series, and that's been for people who are like already dancing, you know, so it's not a beginner series, but next year I'll be doing a beginner series for people who, you know, starting from fresh and things like that. But yeah, that's and you can find that, you know, by just going to YouTube, type in Tranquil TV, and or facebook.com/Tranquil TV, you know. So.
Yes, that was just going to be my next question. How can everybody find you? Okay, so start with Tranquil Productions. What's that website?
That's www.tranquilproductions.co.uk.
Okay.
And that one, you know, people can go there to find classes, you know, so if they want to find a class, local class, or they want to book for a performance, no matter where that is, you know, that's where they go to get that kind of thing. And obviously Tranquil TV is just where you can learn and sit from home and just learn like that. So, you know, that's how you'd find us on there. And there's also like Instagram I have, which is more just, that's not really as much business, but more personal, you know, for those who want to just follow life. And that's like Tranquil, you know, on Instagram it's bboy_Tranquil. So for anyone who wants to follow me on that.
bboy_Tranquil, and that's for Instagram.
Yeah, that's for Instagram. Yeah, so I really only I have Twitter as well, but I don't use that as much as. I never really got Twitter, to be honest. But yeah, I use Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, and so the Facebook one was facebook.com/Tranquil Productions.
Yeah, or Tranquil TV for that.
Or Tranquil TV.
Either one, but you'll be able to find me on there definitely.
Okay, so in this episode, as you know already, folks, we're gonna have every single link so that you can connect with Lloyd. And can you give us, in our closing thoughts, just one bit of advice you'd like to leave with dancers or just whoever, something that you'd like to share?
I would just say that, you know, you can't, you know, if you're going to be successful, you know, I don't think you should look for like a golden moment or anything like that. I think that in my life, it's not been one golden moment. Like it was lots of moments on top of each other. And, you know, sometimes I messed up as well. And I knew an opportunity had been missed. And, you know, I regretted that, you know, but then, you know, it just made me think, you know, I need to be ready. You know, you've got to be ready, because if the opportunity comes and you're not ready, that's the worst thing, you know. So I just say for any dancer, you know, if you want to do it as your job, you need to be, you know, you need to be active. You need to like not wait for one thing to happen, but make little things and build on it, keep building up, and just also to be ready. So train hard, be the best you can be, because, you know, you'll find a lot of other people competing against you, and, you know, you can't really do anything about undercutting, you can't do anything about all kinds of things you can't do all about, but you can make yourself the best you can be, and then that always makes you attractive to those who want to hire you. You know, if you want to train the hardest and things like that, and all just have faith as well. You know, if that's what you choose to do. You know, I'm a Christian, so, you know, not every dancer will be. You know, but, you know, you don't have to have belief. Because without belief, either way, you know, it's not going to happen, is it? You know, you're going to get, you know, discouraged. Yep. So I just say have faith. You know, always be ready. You know, and you should be good.
That's great.
You know, yeah.
I love that. That's excellent advice. Train hard, have faith, be ready, and it's not about one moment, it's about the whole journey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm living on my, you know, like right now I'm married, you know, and, you know, I've got my own house, and, you know, I feel, you know, it's like a miracle to me, because obviously from having nothing to now owning my own house, you know, being married, I don't have another job, you know. I've only ever been a dancer, so you know, apart from the KFC, as I said. You know, in my grandma's market, but like that's crazy for me to even say that, you know. So you know, it's just do, you know, and don't think too much, and just work hard. I think is the key in it, and you know, you know, if you're focused on that, you know, things should go well, and if you're always ready, like I said, you know, things will come up definitely.
That's great. That's great. It's been such a pleasure talking to you, Lloyd. I think you have such a really great attitude, great energy, and a great spirit. And I love what you had to say. I know that your students have such a treat in you because you seem like such a humble, down to earth, hardworking person. And I think dancers everywhere are fortunate to have you. So thank you so much for taking the time to break from your packing for your holiday to talk to us about Tranquil Productions. And I can't wait to see some of your episodes on Tranquil TV. I'm going to make sure I'll share that on the web as well so that we can support you over here in the US.
Thank you. Thank you.
And until next time, happy dancing, folks. Bye.